Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Exordia Creative Podcast. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Emma Butler, CEO and co-founder of J&E Meats. Emma and her husband Josh started J&E Meats in 2018 out of a small building on their family farm in Croton, Ontario. Fast forward a few short years, and they've expanded into a large store with a custom butcher shop to better serve their customers and double down on their mission of bringing you and your family farm-fresh meat products right from their family farm. We're going to be talking about their journey as they've grown their business, their passion for agriculture, and the challenges and triumphs they've experienced along the way. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn more about the exciting world of J&E Meats. You ready to roll?
Think so.
Okay.
Do you want me to print off your questions?
No. Is that okay?
I don't care.
Is it weird
No?
if I do this?
No, I don't think so.
Keep this part in, I say. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Exordia Creative Podcast. We are back. We're with Emma from J&E Meats. I'm super excited to be here today. We're at their new store, and we just wanted to have a conversation, check out the new place, and kick it off from there. How you doing?
Good. Sunday fun day.
I know.
This
We're
is one
doing
way
it
to
on a
kick it
Sunday.
off. I'm so excited.
We're doing it on a
Exordia Creative
Sunday.
on the road, the
I know.
podcast.
I
Just
know.
exciting.
Yeah, we figured we would take it on the road. Like if people have new places they want to show off or they have a cool space, why not come to them?
Yeah.
Especially if it's local in town. So
Yeah, it mixes it up.
yeah, for sure. So there's probably a few people that don't know exactly what you guys do, and I don't want to talk about it throughout the entire podcast, but give us a little rundown on what J&E Meats is, how it came to be, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so J&E Meats is our farm-to-table retail store. So what we do here is we are farmers first. My husband and I, we are I'm fourth generation farmer. He's third generation farmer. His family has been here on this farm since 1939. So this is a really Butler heritage farm. Yeah. We raise beef, lamb, and chicken. We also grow crops as well. And our retail store is where we sell those products direct to consumer. So everything we do here in terms of beef, lamb, and chicken is all born and raised right here on the farm by us. And then December 1st, 2022, we opened here, which is our brand new retail space. And we also have a custom butcher shop element here as well, too. So we do all the butchering, all the dry aging, all the packaging here ourselves as well.
So before 2017, you guys were farmers, right? You didn't have like this, you didn't have a store, you didn't have a place to sell all your products. What was the driving force to want to be like, okay, you know what? We should just start selling our own products?
I think other farmers and livestock producers might agree with us on this, is that there's a big disconnect between the consumer and the producer. There's a big rural-urban divide. There always has been. Mm-hmm. I was born and raised on a beef farm myself, so I've always felt that rural-urban divide. So for Josh and I, when we started thinking about our future and the future of our farm and where we were kind of going with things, we just kind of got sick of just being the middleman. So many consumers are so disconnected from where their food comes from. It's not something that they think about or have ever thought about before. Mm-hmm. So part of our mission and what we wanted to do was to educate first and foremost. We're the experts. We have nothing to hide. Yeah. We know exactly what we're doing, and we're producing food for our own families. So we wanted to share that direct with our community and be able to better connect with our customers. And we just decided hey, let's put it out there. Let's see what happens. So in the middle of the night, one night at 10:30 at night, we made a Facebook page. I whipped up this logo.
Let's go.
And we just did it. And we just started posting on Facebook and just talking about it and serving from our garage. And 3.5 years later, here we are in our butcher shop. Yeah, so it escalated really quickly, and we've just been along for the ride.
That's awesome. So I see that disconnect too. So I'm not a vegan or anything like that, but when you're going into a store and you're buying the products from a Walmart or from a superstore, you don't really know what is behind the meat products or any of the products really. And I think as time continues, this is going to be more and more of a trend of people wanting to reconnect with their food.
Yeah, I think I like to kind of call it conscious eating and eating with intention and, knowing where your food comes from, because it's a part of your food story. And we've all seen it at the grocery stores and stuff like that prices are constantly kind of increasing. And I think some consumers jump to maybe, let's blame the farmers. Maybe they're just after more or whatever. And they don't understand that the farmer is the furthest point from the grocery store that there is. Yeah. So when you decide to eat with intention and get to know the faces behind your food and who it is that produces it, where it comes from, how it's produced, you're also getting more value beyond just I've paid X amount for this steak or X amount for this thing of carrots. You're getting a lot more connection, typically getting better quality, and then also keeping those dollars here in our economy. You know, when you buy locally and when you shop local, it stays here. Mm-hmm. So I think that's also the chief difference that when we see that trend kind of rolling out, and it already has been rolling out for years now, as it gets deeper and deeper and we get to connect with more consumers, they understand it a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this store, because one thing that I noticed that you do like a little bit of hype on your stuff, but you don't totally say exactly what's going on. So when did you decide to make the jump from like, okay, we're in this little building on our family farm, let's make this big jump into this amazing facility? Like, how long has this been in the works?
So it's so funny. This entire business, entire scope of J&E Meats has just extrapolated. It went from being a thought to being a Facebook page to being an actual building, because we started off in a little farm store, a little 12 by 20 right outside of our house. We served out of there for 2 solid years through the pandemic. It really was an adventure. And then it just kept escalating, and it got to the point where our family was growing and our business was growing. So our business went from sort of plateauing to that chief point where we were like, we need to grow this thing. We need to capitalize on the knowledge and experience that we currently have and where our business is going, and the demand from our consumers. The demand was always there. Our customers have been there, been behind us all the way, and they're the real driving force behind our business and our success and where we're going. Like, our customers drive us. So there was more demand from them in terms of, you know, being open more, offering more products, being able to do more and to have more control. So for us, we just kind of made the decision of, you know, let's build a butcher shop. Let's do it. And it's funny enough, because when we started our Facebook page in our basement, you know, all those years ago, we said one day in like 10 years, it would be really nice to own a butcher shop. And here we are, less than 5. Yeah. So it's been really cool just to kind of see it evolve and see it grow. And in terms of longevity of our business, this was something that we felt like we needed to do. We felt like we needed to make that commitment. We needed to jump in. We needed to do it all ourselves for lots of reasons. One, bringing down our overhead costs. Doing this actually brings our overhead of our business down. And second tier is quality control. We're able to have all of the control from start to finish of how our products are cut and how they're packaged and how they're presented to our consumers. And we're able to answer their questions and better serve them even more, because we truthfully have all the answers.
Yes.
We do it all. So if they want to know more about it and want to know any questions at all, we do have all the answers to that now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it was like a 1 year thing. You were like, okay, I think we should do this. And then you started doing it?
So we decided in, I guess it was probably November 2021 that we decided we were going to do this. Yeah. Jumped in, signed the paperwork in January, started the process. Valentine's Day last year, we broke ground here. And then December 1st, 2022, we opened. So it's been
That's
fast.
Some execution.
Fast and furious.
Yeah, seriously. How much of a role do you think, because you have like a personal brand on Instagram, I would say like when you go on J&E Meats, it's very much like Emma and J&E Meats, but you're like the face of the company. How much would you attribute your guys' success to your social media presence? And I do want to talk about the Meat Mistress and if that's still around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, heck yeah. She didn't go anywhere. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think being on social media has definitely, it's been a journey on its own. You know, when we started said Facebook page, you could post anything and everything you wanted. Yeah. Like, it seemed like nothing got flagged, nothing was, you know, taken down. And then all of a sudden, social media took a really bizarre turn where I couldn't even post a picture of a steak online without it becoming flagged, removed altogether. And, you know, as a social media account holder, you don't have any control of that. You know, it's the social media companies, we're at their mercy. We're lucky enough to get to use their products and use them for free.
It's basically a free lease.
It is. That's exactly what it is. So when that started happening, I I kind of toyed around with different things of like, okay, what can I do without posting pictures of steak, or even for a while there, I couldn't even post a picture of like a baby calf or anything like that. Like it was just bizarre. So when that started to happen, we really had no choice but to pivot. So I started doing things like posting recipes, making meals, putting my face out there a little bit more. I try to put Josh as much as I can.
Yeah, he's on there sometimes.
He's so great in front of a camera,
Yeah.
but he's honestly too busy to like stop and do things like
Yeah.
that. So because that's sort of where I have a lot of interest and I have a lot of skill set, I sort of took over that, and in effect, I kind of became a billboard of the business.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. My name is Emma. It's Josh and Emma Meets, J&E Meets.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And I know the business inside and out. I know the direction I want it to go. I am your farmer as well. So there's
Exactly.
no reason why, Face for Radio can't be up there just taking
Yeah.
on the world. So that's been a really big part of it. And the success that's come from that has been the connection to our consumers. Our customers come in here and they know me, they see me, they talk to me. A lot of them have a really good feedback of, oh, I feel like I already know you. I see you on social media, or I see you on the iPad. That's like my favorite one, is I see you on the iPad. And
Okay, what generation's saying that?
boomers. They're so great. I love them so much. Like, I'm an older millennial. I just turned 30 2 days ago.
Happy belated.
So thank you. So I feel like it's weird saying I'm an older millennial because I don't feel like
Yeah.
I'm in any of those age categories. I feel
Yeah.
like across the board, I fit in with kind of every consumer demographic. So, but it's really cool just to be able to connect with different layers of customers and different kinds of customers as well too. So getting their feedback of, we feel like we know you, it adds that element of trust as well in our products. It gives the consumer confidence coming to purchase from us because they do know us and who we are and what we stand for, and they seem to really like it.
Yeah.
So I think if it's not broke, keep on going forward.
Keep on
Don't
trucking.
fix it. Yep.
Does it ever get tiring having like being the face all the time, like going on the stories and like doing all that stuff?
It doesn't get tiring for me. For
No?
me, now that we're at this level, because this is a relatively new execution for us, I don't have as much free time, I guess, if you will. Like,
Yeah.
I've stepped up into that role of being an employer and managing a team and being a leader. So I find throughout the day, we'll be doing all these really cool things here. We'll be cutting like our products up and packaging them. And, I kind of jump back and forth from, packaging meat to doing the front end, managing employment to doing payroll and paperwork and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I jump around so much that sometimes I go home at the end of the day and it's like 10 o'clock at night and I think, oh, dang.
Yeah.
We did so much. I saw so much today,
Yeah.
but I didn't share
Yeah.
as much. So, one of my goals for 2023 is being able to just take 5 seconds to kind of show everybody sort of what's going on and bring them along on the journey, because we do some amazing work here. So it's
Yeah.
really cool that I want them to be able to keep up with that and understand what it is we do here too.
It's definitely easier said than done to like just remember to always capture what it is you're doing. And then I also feel weird about capturing every single little thing I'm doing because I don't think anybody actually cares. But I know that people are genuinely curious about like what goes on. I was actually telling you when we were doing the tour that you haven't showed the cut floor very often. So I wasn't sure if it was like this big secret or something.
It's not,
But-
and that's something too that I need to get better at sharing the narrative of that as well too, of the process of cutting products. Again, we do ride that fine line of, on social media, there's only so much that you can share.
Yeah.
So I don't want to share too much, and it's not because I'm trying to keep that from our customers, but it's, I don't want to wake up one day and my Instagram account be shut down for no apparent reason, or,
Yeah,
or
okay,
I
so
don't want to lose that community that I've built.
That issue's still going on where they like flag your stuff.
Oh,
still?
absolutely. Oh, yeah. It gets flagged all the time. Things will get removed. For a while there, I couldn't even use the word meat. I couldn't use the word beef.
Yeah,
I
you
couldn't use the
DM'd me
word
that.
lamb. Like,
Yeah.
it was super frustrating. Still is.
Yeah.
So in terms of like the front end and our social media and our public end, we have absolutely nothing to hide, but there's like parameters that we have to work between. So a workaround is our email list.
Yes.
I ask our subscribers
Yes.
and I ask our followers to subscribe to our email list for a reason, because I own that baby and I can say anything and I can show anything on our email list. I can be totally transparent. I can take them along for what's going on. So that kind of supplements, hey, if you see what we're doing on social media and you like it, come over to a place where we can really show you without any restrictions what it is we do.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about the success that your email list has had? Like, is it an asset?
Our email list is popping. It's awesome. It's been one of the best things for our business.
Yeah.
And I have no regrets as a business owner, but now any person that I meet starting their own business, I say you need to start an email list. Like, start in capturing those customers in their inboxes, because that is where they're going to be for you. Like, our email list got us through the pandemic. It carried us through when we were opening this place. Our email subscribers, like, I kept this place a total secret. We broke ground in February, and I didn't announce that we were building this until August because I really wanted to have something to show people. But our email subscribers knew what was going on. They had seen pictures. They had been along on the journey. I shared my whole pregnancy journey because I also had a baby last year too.
Yeah. Congrats.
And all this, we built this. I had another baby. So our email subscribers, they saw all that. And that's another level of just building a relationship with our customers of, I can be so much more open and honest through our email list than I can on social media. So it's definitely been an asset for our business.
So through your email list, just for like the listeners, if they want to get some game from this, you're sharing like recipes, kind of like life events, and more of unfiltered stuff that you can't necessarily show on social media. You're showing it through your email.
Yeah, through showing it through our email list because we don't want to, we built a really great community on our social media, and I just don't want to risk losing that. I've heard other people that have literally woke up one day and, they're out of their accounts and stuff. And not that like rules the roost, but it's an important element that as a business owner, we've been, and that too, we've been working on that for years, that to just wake up and that all be gone is an inherent risk that we take. So we kind of have to make sure that we tell our story and tell our narrative in a way that it's not going to be restricted.
Now, what about TikTok?
I
can't find you on TikTok.
Know about the TikTok. It's funny because I love the TikTok.
So you're a consumer of TikTok, not a creator
total
yet.
Scroller, total consumer on TikTok. I love the TikTok. I'm just not on it. Again, my thing is that I don't know the return on my investment for a TikTok. Same with Instagram Reels, all that kind of stuff. Yes, I love it as a consumer, but as a creator, that's not my full time. I don't want that to ever take away from the business and what we're doing here and serving our customers. So in terms of video content like that, it would probably take me a half an hour or 45 minutes to make a really good TikTok. And that's half an hour or 45 minutes that I need to be working on my business or in my business. That's 45 minutes that I should be doing other things. Yeah. So to me, in what we are doing with a brick and mortar space and serving consumers, it's better set for me to spend an hour on my email list than it is for me to spend an hour making a TikTok or an Instagram reel. I think if you have a different business, if you have a digital business, a service-based business where you really have to show people what you're doing, it's totally beneficial. If you sell bracelets and you can ship them all over the world, that's what you should be doing, is going after the world. But for us, for right now, I just don't see the return on my investment at the moment. I'm an older millennial with my thumbs trying to figure out how to edit those videos, and it's just not, not for me.
That's fair. Have you at least secured your handle?
I have.
Okay, good.
I think so.
Okay, good. Just in case anything changes.
I think so.
Cool. So what has been the hardest part about running J&E Meats?
I don't think there's one part that stands out. I think that you choose your hard in anything, in business, in relationship, wherever part of your life that you're in. I think you choose your hard. So some people look at, what we're doing here, what I'm doing in particular, and they'll be like, how do you do it? How do you do all this? How do you do all that? And you choose your hard. I feel like as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurs in general are built different. Yeah. I feel like I am built different. And just because I can do all these things doesn't mean that somebody else can. But there's something else in someone else's life that I would think is really hard. Like, I can't math. Math is so hard for me. Accounting is so hard for me. Book work, so hard for me. And it's not something that I'm good at, but it's something that other people are good at. So to me, book work's really hard, but to somebody else, book work is so easy. So I think there's not one thing that stands out as to, this is really hard about being a business owner or operating at this level, I think that you just have to go into it with the mindset of like you choose your hard.
Yeah.
So I don't really find any of it that hard.
Yeah. So when you say book work, like accounting and stuff like that,
Yeah.
is that what you mean?
Oh,
What
yeah.
about like emails?
Emails I'm good at. Oh yeah,
Okay.
like I can't have a single notification or a single unread email. It'll just fester.
Yeah.
So everything is read, everything is responded to. I'm still old school. I print off emails
Oh,
that
wow.
I need to like, follow up on, or if there's more to it, I'll print them off and write notes and like keep those together so that
Sweet.
I have them, or if I need to forward something on, I'll print it and carry it around.
That's sweet.
But yeah, that's sort of just, I would say, yeah, if there was one big thing, accounting, bookwork, not my strong suit, but I'm fortunate that I'm able to offset that.
So what about, like, if you could pick your ideal day at J&E Meats, you get to do one thing for the rest of the business. You don't have to do anything else but the one thing. What's the one thing you want to do? And it can be more of like a general thing. It doesn't have to be one specific task, but what would you want to do every single day?
Every single day. Honestly, it's completely tied between operating our front of house, so our front end, interacting with customers, serving customers, checking them out, getting to meet them, getting to talk to them. Or it's a dead tie between being in the back. I love working side by side with our butchers and just watching them. Like, they are incredible. There's no other way to put it. Just to see them take a product and turn it into all these other things, and they're so like methodical, and they know like where to cut and what to cut, and it's just I stand there beside them and work side by side, and I can't help but watch because it's so fascinating and so interesting. So it would be a tie between front of house and back of house.
So you like to work in it and on it.
Yes.
A nice combo of the two.
Yes. I try to balance it the best I can.
I
know that a lot of people say, oh, you need to be working like on your business and not in your business. And, you have employees, so you need to break out those roles and do something else. But I think it's a mix of both. I think there's not a key recipe to that success.
And I don't think you can have true balance.
I don't think so.
I don't think that exists. I think one day you're more balanced in one area, the next day you're balanced in another thing.
And
it kind of works itself out.
Yeah, and for myself, I don't really want to be balanced. I really function in chaos. So I'm okay with, switching roles, 4 or 5 different roles in an hour. It's good for my brain. I like to pop around and do different things.
Yeah.
And, I feel like multitasking isn't a real thing, but you can definitely, in 20-minute intervals, really achieve a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think there's any benefit to being a young entrepreneur?
I would say yes and no. Yes, because there's a lot of opportunities for younger entrepreneurs that there maybe wasn't 30 years ago, like social media, for example. We're able to really grow our business because of social media. E-commerce and stuff like that has really come about, especially since the pandemic. We have an e-commerce level to our business where we do sell online as well.
Yeah.
So I think being a young entrepreneur, that is a benefit because we're maybe a little bit more receptive to those avenues in order to build our business and push our business forward. On the flip side to that, elder entrepreneurs, I don't want to offend anybody, but entrepreneurs that are older than myself.
older millennials and boomers.
Yes, they have so much life experience and they've been through so much.
Yeah.
And, I really look to them for mentorship and guidance and advice because they know what they're doing and they've been through it, and they've been through it in a cyclical pattern multiple times. Whereas maybe I've only went through that cyclical pattern once or twice so far in my business.
So
they've
true.
been through it a lot.
Yeah.
So I think it's like tick for tag. I think that yes, being a younger entrepreneur, it helps, and it's helped the success of our business. But I also want to make sure that I'm not the type of person to put the blinders on of, I know everything and I have all the answers, because I don't. I would rather ask questions and learn as I go and learn from other people that have been through it and have experienced what I've experienced.
It's so true. And I love hanging out with people that are older than me, especially if they're business owners, because they have that, like, you can just pick up on so many little nuances, so many little tidbits of information that you wouldn't otherwise get from like younger entrepreneurs. But that's part of the reason why I want to start the podcast, was because I want to interview older entrepreneurs as well and learn from them and listen to them and learn about a variety of different industries, which is kind of why I'm doing this. It's a personal project a little bit.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's okay.
Yeah. Sweet. What else could we talk about? So you have a lot more in here than just, I want to talk a little bit more about what products you have in here, what's from the farm, and what you bring in from the local economy.
Yeah. So when you visit our farm store, what's always been cool, what we've always done is offered our products and then complementary products to our products.
Yeah.
So everything in here, we've tried to connect back. I always say connect to the cows. Like everything has to
Connect
connect
to the cows.
to the cows. It
I
all
love it.
has
I love it.
to go together and be cohesive,
Yeah.
or it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So if you sell like hair bows or something, for example, this is maybe not the place for those because I don't see how it connects to the cows.
Yeah.
So that's always been the justification for any of the vendor items that we've brought in, is it has to kind of fit our business model and fit what we're doing. So some of the items that you'll find in here is our beef and lamb and chicken that we raise here ourselves. And then you'll also find products made from that as well too. So I make like bone broth and chicken stock and stuff like that as well, prepared foods. And we offer that for sale here too of our own products. And then in terms of pork and turkey, we source those from other local farmers. Everyone here, everybody in here, all of our vendor items are either my friends or they're companies that I know and love, that I've been using their products for a long time, and I've reached out to them to make a connection, to be like, hey, I love your products.
Yeah.
I want to offer them to my customers,
Yeah.
because a lot of our customers are coming in, and it's really cool to hear them say like, oh wow, you have such a great selection of good products. They're not just whatevers, they're good products. And I'm like, I would never sell you something that I don't like. So I'm not going to bring in a hot sauce, or I'm not going to bring in a barbecue sauce that I either haven't tried or haven't heard of or haven't liked. So a lot of the vendor items that you'll find in here are either local here to Chatham-Kent or Lambton County, Ontario made. I've met them myself. I've tried them. I've enjoyed the products. I don't really just blindly order things and hope they work out, because I can't sell them to my customers who I feel like are my friends and trust me if I don't like them or stand behind them. Two things I really look for when I'm looking at bringing in new vendors is their story and their journey. We have things like Comeback Snacks, and we also have the Black Rifle Coffee, and we have the Water Buffalo Milk, which is connected to, again, farmers and just kind of moving the needle forward on that. So bringing in all these companies that have a really good story and a really good company culture, I love that. Second thing I look for is a really good quality product, obviously, and something cool. Like I love packaging, I love marketing, I love anything kind of different. Any company that has a really good social stance, so like maybe they give back, maybe they donate a proceeds towards other charities and stuff like that too. Like those are things that are important to us. So those are things that will fit in here at J&E Meats. So that's
awesome.
what I try and go for.
That's awesome. And you guys have also started to reach out, and I don't know if it's recently or not, but you started working with restaurants.
Yes.
Local restaurants, and supplying your beef to restaurants.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that. I know you've got a smash burger at Sons of Kent. Isaac and I definitely have to go try that at some point. We're on a big burger tour right now.
You need to go, Sons Kent.
Yeah,
get
we
the
definitely
smash
do.
burger.
But talk a little bit about like the partnership with your guys' products and the restaurants.
So working with restaurants it's fun, but it also has to be the right fit for us and for them.
Totally.
So in what we do here, we aren't in the business of selling boxed beef or boxed products. Like you're not going to come here and get a box of like 40 New York strips, because one of the things that we've always been passionate about, even before owning our own butcher shop, is whole animal butchery and consuming the entire animal. There is so much more to an animal than just a New York strip or just a ribeye.
Yeah.
So something that I think I've had lots of restaurants approach me in the past about supplying them, and I'm super flattered, but I always lead that conversation with, this is what I can do for you, and I'm not able to do more. There are other companies out there that can supply you,
Volume.
60 New York strips or, 40 ribeyes or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's really important when we have those conversations with those restaurants that they understand what we're able to do and what our fundamentals as a business are. We want you to understand and eat the whole thing. That's part of the farm to table journey. That's part of us as consumers. And connecting with our customers, again, that rural urban divide, making that gap a little bit smaller is kind of putting that knowledge out there that there's more than just X and more than what you see on the shelf. So when working with restaurants, leading that conversation is sort of telltale and front end of our mind. Through that journey, we've been able to really make some solid fundamental connections with some really awesome ones right here in the community.
Yeah.
We've worked with the Chilled Cork. We've done some really fun one-offs and events with them too. So working with the Chilled Cork has been awesome. Working with Sons of Kent. Sons of Kent is a really, really cool story for us because we get all of their brewers' grain. So when they're done brewing their beer, We go there every week. We pick up the brewer's grain. We bring it home. We feed it to the cows. And then they purchase the ground beef to make into their smash burgers.
So cool.
It's from beer to beef. It's the
Beer to beef.
coolest story ever. And I don't know many other breweries that can say that or producers that can say that. So I'm coining the beer to beef.
Yeah.
It is happening for us.
And it's all within Chatham-Kent, which is really cool.
And it's all within Chatham-Kent. So it's really cool to keep things here and be able to support other small businesses too, like the Chilled Cork, Sons of Ken, all of those businesses that we've had the opportunity to work with are small businesses. I mean, they might be larger scale and doing cool things, but at their fundamentals and at their core, they're small businesses. They're not owned by an XYZ larger company. It's right here at home. So it's been a cool experience working with them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So where do you see J&E Meats? I know, like, for example, with the farm store, you were thinking, okay, it'll be like 5-10 years out. So asking you a 5-10 year question, maybe not, it might not be, but where do you see J&E Meats going?
I think long term, J&E Meats is going to be here. It's always going to be here. It's always going to be in our family. Now, whether our children want to be a part of this or not, that's totally okay. They have to follow their heart and do their own thing. Yeah. But the opportunity is here for them should they want to take it. J&E Meats, extrapolating into what we are now with the farm store and the butcher shop, is our succession plan of, there's more here to offer our children, more opportunity for them if they want it. If they want to go out in the world, great. If they want to stay on the farm, there has to be more for them to do. So this kind of gives an element of, if they want to go into marketing or accounting or, book work, farm work, working with the livestock, whichever kind of direction they choose to go, this is another element of the farm can provide.
That is cool.
For you and for your family.
Yeah.
So those are the opportunities that Josh had growing up and his siblings as well too. His father was born and raised here too. So this farm's really sustained the Butler family lineage. So building J&E Meats was sort of a catalyst to that of this can be more for them if they choose to stay. Yeah. So the direction that it's going is it's going to stay here. It will always be here. We're really driving these roots in Chatham-Kent. We've already been in Chatham-Kent since 1939 that we've been here. So really driving that home and making sure that this has a permanent place and it's going to be a permanent mark for our family, for the landscape, for the community going forward is always a part of it. Short term, now that we have the facility, we're able to do so much more. Yeah. I'm an absolute dreamer. I always put the cart before the horse. It's just who I am as a person. And there's lots of cool things we want to do even just this summer. Get into maybe hosting events, doing one-offs of, other different things, really bringing people to Chatham-Kent and showing them what we have to offer. Like Camden Township here, we're beautiful. We're right along the Sydenham River. There's lots to do. There's lots to see. There's other farmers in the area as well too. There's Parks Blueberries, there's Jen and Strawberry Farm, the Kempridge Country Store. Like right here in our corner of the county, we have so much to offer. So bringing people to Chatham-Kent and showing them what we have is something that we're really determined to do and something that we will be doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you talked about your kids and thinking about a succession plan at the age of 30. That's pretty sweet. That's smart. But what is it like balancing home life and business life? And is there such thing as balance in that?
No such thing as balance ever.
Because I just had my first kid. I just had my first kid in October.
Yep. So I'm on my fourth.
Okay.
There is no balance. There's no balance. If you're someone like me, like I said, I really function in the chaos. I really thrive in the chaos. I feel like an element to owning a business is like having a child. So this is like having a fifth child for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's always you're constantly navigating something new. And as an entrepreneur, I'm sure you've experienced this too, where you're always constantly being thrown new challenges or like new versions of old challenges. And, there's always kind of something going on that you have to deal with or something that you have to, medicate or, there's lots of different areas that need your attention. And as an entrepreneur, you have to be able just to flip that switch back and forth. As a parent, I find it really, the balancing act is more stepping away and giving them my full focus and then turning and giving this my full focus. So really kind of splitting myself in compartmentalizing compartmentalizing
Yes.
those roles that I have to do and all those different things that I have to do.
Yeah.
And just making sure that I'm the best version of myself that I can be at any given time. So I'm giving my full force to my kids, full force to my business, trying not to cross over too much. I'm trying to build those healthy habits and healthy routines. So, I try not to be on my phone all the time with them because I don't want them to think like mommy's on her phone and working all the time.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I've got good balance, but they understand that, when mommy sits down at her computer, I just need some space to work on my computer.
Yeah.
Or they come here with us, not all of them all the time, because that's a lot. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of directions. But they do come here, and it's so cool to see, well, in general, being a parent, it's cool to see the world through their eyes.
Yes.
It's cool to see the way that they interpret
For
things.
sure.
But they know what we do here. Like it's so cute.
That's so cool.
My son, he just turned 3. We're both Capricorns, so watch out, world. But he just turned 3, and he comes here all the time, and he'll stand with the butchers and watch them doing it.
Yeah.
And then the other day before we left, he was like, "Let's say goodbye to the cows." So I opened up the cooler and I showed him. He's like, "Bye, cows," and it was just, it's really cool. It's cool to see them, being a part of this and just getting it, because this is what they were raised in. They're never going to have to go to school to learn where their food comes from. They just know it's ingrained in them. They know what it is we do here. They love our products. Like our 5-year-old is the best salesman. So it just kind of comes naturally. And to be able to, again, lead by example of, this is what we do, this is how we do it, and them interpreting it however it is that they do, and mulling it over in their little minds and seeing them kind of understand it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And they get to hang out with Josh too, right? Like they go in the tractor, they do
go
the
in
farm,
the tractor.
the farm kids
he's
stuff.
got our daughter is our oldest.
Yeah.
She's 5, and then we have a 3-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, and then we had a baby last July. Yeah. So we have 3 boys after her, and they're daddy's shadows. There's no getting away from him, and they're very interested and very into it, and they know what goes on. They'll help them in the shop, and they're very hands-on and very involved. And we get questions all the time of, how do you balance this and your kids and whatever, and we bring them along. They're a part of it. We're not sending them off somewhere else all the time. Obviously there's elements to that where they have to be away and be taken care of, so that we can work. But for the most part, we bring them along however we can, whenever we can. When we're calving, they come along and see the calves. They come to the sheep barn with us when we're having lambs. They bottle feed baby lambs for us. They help in the barn. They help here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But they're definitely involved. They're a part of it as much as Josh and I are.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I like that. Cool. What else would you like to talk about? Is there anything you want to talk about?
I don't know. I feel like we're having such a good conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any other questions about?
I don't know. I don't know if I do.
Or business ownership? What has been the biggest challenge that you've had being a business owner?
So my personality is similar to yours in the sense that I don't like to be stuck doing one individual thing for all day. I need to kind of either go out on a shoot. I need to go sit at my desk and do some email stuff. I need a variety in my life. So I think dialing that in and staying focused has been the biggest challenge for me. I would say that.
Yeah.
I would say that.
What about being a boss? Because I hate that word. I hate
that word too. And I'm only recently
boss.
a boss. I'm only recently a boss too. Isaac will be with us. He started as a co-op student in February. And so it'll be a year-ish since we've actually had actual employees. And it's a different beast because now you have to worry about what they're doing and setting up their schedule and making sure that they have things to do.
It's a full-time job. Managing employees is an absolute full-time job.
Yeah.
It's and our employees that we have. So my 2 girls that have been working in the farm store, I hired them last spring because I knew I was pregnant, having a baby, had to figure something out, was building this. I knew I needed some help. So they kind of came to me organically. It just happened. It's been the best fit. They have so much strength where I have so much weakness.
Yeah.
So we're super complimentary of each other, and we work really, really well as a team. But managing people is a full-time job. You have to, I at least anyway, feel a responsibility to always be available to them. If my phone rings and it's them, I'm answering it, whether it's Sunday, whether it's midnight, it doesn't matter. I'm there for them. I'm answering it. I'm calling you back. I'm getting right back to you. And then same with, we have 2 full-time butchers as well. So managing them full-time and making sure there's a balance between, you know, they are the experts when it comes to the cut floor and the production. So in a sense, I always joke with them that like, I just work here.
Yeah.
Because in that element, they're the boss. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I just kind of facilitate conversations and navigate customers and what their needs are and manage orders and stuff like that in terms of that. And then I pass that on to the experts. They came with that knowledge. They came with all that already. So it's been a weird journey of trying to like navigate where I fit as a boss. I'm a boss, but not a boss. You know what I mean? It's been really interesting to navigate that of being a boss and being a leader and working alongside them and leading by example, but then also being an employee myself, because we all have to work here. I always joke that like, we all got to work here, like no vacations, we're all working because that's what we do. Like this place does not run without the team. So that's been an interesting element is all of a sudden, and it just kind of happened. I find it didn't happen, you know, where we had one employee casually and this and that. I feel like it just happened for us. And we went from literally in 2022, first part of 2022, February 2022, it was me by myself doing the whole thing, running the farm store, managing orders, answering the phone, emails, DMs, everything, all me. To the end of 2022, we had 4 full-time employees. So I feel like I feel like it really just happened.
Quick. That's quick.
I feel like it happened. So
we were pretty quick too. For the first couple years, it was just Jared and I. And that's one thing I would like to mention is because Jared is much more like the analytical, like introverted, likes to do the bookwork, likes to do like that kind of stuff. So we balance each other out very nicely.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started out just us 2, and then we started working with contractors. And then because we always thought that hiring employees was so expensive.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we thought, because it's not cheap, obviously, to hire and pay them good wages, right?
And you're like, wow, that's
I
all
should have
it
done
costs?
this. Yeah.
I know. I felt the same way.
Anyway, yeah. And similar to you, not as quickly, but I feel like in the last year and a bit, that's when we just started hiring and hiring.
And then it's crazy. Like when I sat down with our team and we did like our training, like before we opened, we were doing sort of training and paperwork and stuff like that. I sat them down. I gave them a really good speech about, you know, I think they are all smart. I think they are all talented. I want to hear their ideas all the time. If you think we should switch up the whole showroom and do something else, let's do it. Let's try it. If you think we should sell something else, like let's make it happen. The butchers in the back, you know, they come to me with ideas of, you know, hey, I think we should do this. I'm like, what do you need? Do you need like spices? Do you need equipment? What do you need to make this happen? And I really have made them a part of the business, and they feel invested, and they love that autonomy of we all work here and we work for Josh and Emma, but we really don't. Like, we definitely have an element of we are a family, we're a family business. You know, even though we're not all blood, we're all still invested in this, and we're all here for the same goal. So one of the things that I wanted to make sure is that they felt that from us, that, you know, we're not just your bosses and we don't just make all the decisions. Like it's a team effort. It's a group effort. We're a team-oriented business first and foremost, and our team always comes first. So building that company culture and like instilling that within them is part of our success to this as well too. It's, you know, having those fundamentals of this is what we stand behind, this is what we think, this is how we feel. Like we're always all on the same page, and we always make sure that we respect one another for that as well. You know, we come to each other with ideas or comments or questions or concerns, and we all talk about it together and make sure that we're on the same page.
We try to do that as well. We have a couple meetings a week, and we always ask for ideas and things like that, because also we hired quite young as well. Isaac is 18, and he's like the TikTok generation, right? So he is famous on TikTok, number one. And number two, he has different content ideas that can help us capture a younger audience for brands.
Yeah.
So listening to other people's ideas are a good idea because they have like outside the box think. They're not in your brain the way you've built it. They have like an outsider's perspective, and they can kind of take it in any way they want.
Yes. And part of the speech that we gave our staff too is that, you know, we have all worked for other bosses where we didn't feel like we were heard,
Yes.
where we felt
Yeah.
like we were just a warm body
Yeah.
punching in and punching out, and we had no connection to the business or no involvement, or,
Yeah.
we've all felt like we've gotten stepped on. And one of the biggest elements to our company culture is that we don't do that here. Like that kind of toxicity doesn't live here. Like we're very positive, we're very forward thinking. We do have a young staff too. Our oldest staff member is 33. Actually, it's going to be Josh. Josh is going to be 37 this year because he's an old goat. The rest of us are all young. But we're all under 40 here, and we all are still trying to navigate, our own lives. And, a lot of us are in our 20s and trying to kind of figure things out. So, being able to come together and just collaborate and be a part of something, I think is what helps drive the success forward, because we all perform better.
Yeah.
Like my staff perform better when they have that confidence instilled in them of, I have somebody behind me that, if I make a mistake, it's okay. Like we will learn from our mistakes.
Exactly.
We'll try things. Like I hear you out, whatever you need to facilitate, your idea. Like let's make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what does like a day in your life look like?
A day in my life.
Like a typical one. Like not like a Monday or a Friday, like an average day.
Yeah. So
how much time are you spending here? How much time are you spending in and on?
So I feel like I'm always here. Like
Okay.
I manage our social media.
Yeah.
I do our email list. I do a lot of my best working at night after the kids go to bed. That is sort of when my day and my energy is really flowing.
What time do your kids go to bed?
Usually everybody's in bed by 8:30.
Nice.
Like baby, everything. He just started sleeping through the night. So like I haven't slept through the night in 5 years. So now I feel very like overstimulated.
Woo!
I'm like, wow, what is this? I'm refreshed. So a typical day in my life typically looks like, I get up at 6:30. I do my makeup. I have my coffee. I zen, listen to a podcast, or I'll just listen to some music, just kind of get ready. Get the kids up, get them ready. Our daughter goes to school. She's an SK. So get that kind of taken care of. I didn't know a kid going to school was going to be such a structure thing.
Okay.
Like, you got to get them up, you got to get them on the bus, you
Yep.
got to do all the things.
Okay.
So my anxiety is usually pumping like first thing in the morning, just like making sure everybody gets where they need to go. And then we do have someone that comes to the house to help take care of the kids.
Nice.
So they come to the house, take care of the kids, and then I go out and do my chores because I feed cattle, I do lambs, kind of do whatever needs done, do farm chores, come here, kind of start the day, see what's going on. I feel like sometimes we show up here in the day and in the morning, we take 10, 15 minutes to kind of talk about where we're going, where our week's going, what our day looks like, things that we need to achieve. I love to listen to podcasts or like songs or something and just pick up something from that and then pass it on. So like my guys, I don't think have eye rolled as much living with me. Like I feel like when they came into my life, they didn't realize what they were getting when they got me. So, I come in the morning, I'm like, hey, so theme of the day is we're not going to let anybody disturb our peace, which was our theme of last week. I said like, we're not letting people disturb our peace. No one's going to infiltrate what we have going on. Like everything is going to work out. Just pushing all these good vibes into the universe.
Yeah.
I also was having a midlife crisis because it was my birthday. So I was turning 30. I was starting a new decade, really doing a good cleanse. But passing that on and really building that company culture as well too of, positivity and energy and moving that forward. So we come in the morning here, kind of get things opened up. The guys usually start kind of cutting something. And then sometimes I find I fumble to sort of fit in somewhere, popping back to see if they need a hand, go back to my computer, keep doing invoicing or, whatever it is that I'm up to. When my girls come in, they go off and do their own thing. And if they need me to facilitate anything, I kind of jump in there. And we work here 9 to 5:30 usually.
Nice.
And then go home, make supper. It's actually really nice because now that we have a fresh counter, if I don't know what to make for supper, I'll pull out some steaks or some pork chops, take them home, make supper. Then get the kids ready, get everybody to bed. And then sometimes that's when I sit down and do all my emails. I love the scheduling feature on emails so I can just get everything banged out the way I need it. And I don't have to send it right then and bother people. Or I don't want people to know I'm up at midnight just on my computer doing stuff.
I do that too.
I use a scheduling feature so they think like,
okay, I've got a
wow.
question. Do you change the scheduling time to make it look like it wasn't scheduled? Or do you just do like 8 a.m.?
Oh, no, I always change it. It'll be like 8:31.
Same.
To make it look super
Same.
organic.
Same.
Like
Yeah.
it wasn't,
Yeah.
it didn't just happen to come
Yeah.
in. I play around with it. Meanwhile, it's me at 1 a.m,
Yeah.
just typing, flipping laundry, like doing my best life.
I do that too.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Well, now that I have a son, I am a night owl. I mean, a morning person.
Morning person?
Because he is 3 months old. And so what my wife and I decided to do is I wake up in the morning because she gets up during the night. So I'll wake up with him in the morning after his morning feed and then bring him downstairs and we'll hang out for like an hour until he's ready for his nap.
Nice.
And then I bring him up, put him to bed, and then I get ready for the day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's how
I'm
we
a
structure
night
it.
hog. I could be up all night. Like
Yeah.
I could be vacuuming. I could be folding laundry. Like doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like everybody's sleeping. I'm like, that's my time to shine.
I used to be that way, but
Yeah.
now I get up early. So.
Just wait. Once he sleeps through the night, then you'll be like,
Yeah.
what is this? What is this?
Exactly.
This is all new.
Exactly. Did having kids change your perspective on business at all?
Absolutely. I think it's funny because like when we started this business, I had went on maternity leave with my daughter.
Yeah.
And then my daughter and my son are only, they're 11 months apart. Or sorry, they're 12, like dead on 12 months apart. So it was funny because I was on maternity leave with my daughter, got pregnant with my second son, and then we started this business. So I feel like the business has really grown with them hand in hand, and the business has become my baby because I feel like I had babies and the business all
Yeah.
at the same time. I just kind of did it all at once. So I think it's really changed my perspective as a business owner because it's made me more hyper aware of myself as a consumer and what I want. So when I look for other businesses and when I look to support other businesses, there's more to it than just I'm going to go buy something or just the super quick. I do order things on Amazon, don't get me wrong, but I try not to do that now. I try to shop with much more intention because, you know, when you do have children, all of a sudden you're like, wow, I have to have a budget now. Like, you know, things have to kind of change. So I think having children and being a business owner and being a consumer all sort of ties in together. And then I try to bring that back to the business. I try and like go out into the world and pick up little things and really be a sponge and then try to apply that here and where we're going and where we want things to go. If I see somebody else doing something really cool, I like to maybe try and implement that here. Whether it's, most of it again is just like internal emotional support, if you will. Like I said, like listening to podcasts and then taking that knowledge that I learned from the podcast and bring it back to my team so they don't have to listen to a podcast because that's not their thing, some of them.
Yeah.
But they still do like that message. And even if they eye roll, I know that they walk away at the end of the day with like, oh, the theme of the week was don't destroy our peace. So I was all hell-bent last week of no one's destroying my peace. So just things like that kind of are parts that I bring back. And then in being a parent, you know, I learn from my kids every single day. They teach me so much. Like I said, they're between the ages of 5 and 6 months right now. So we're in a really interesting place at home. We're learning a lot of things. We're balancing a lot of emotions.
Definitely.
There's a lot going on. But it's just it's a wonderful place to be in. It's exhausting, but I mean, it's always going to be exhausting. I mean, you don't have kids to save money or not be tired. So
No, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right. I think we're probably going to wrap it up there.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, I think
Thank
so
you.
too.
Okay. See ya.
Sweet.
Peace.
Thank you.